Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Today we've come to a very scenic point indeed. We've got a fabulous view, which you're going to see in a moment. And of course, we're going to take a look at that car, which is the Mercedes ML. This is a 2007 model. Mercedes-Benz started making this car in 2005, and it ran all the way through to late 2011. And they only gave it a minor facelift and some improvements in the engine. This one is what they call the 320 CDI. What does that mean? V6 3-litre diesel engine, probably one of the best engines that Mercedes ever built, and it is in more of their cars than any other car, including one or two vans or two. So let's take you around the car and explain to you some of its little faults, shall we say. Right on the front bumper, we've got a nasty little graze, which of course we are going to fix. We're also going to polish up the front headlights, and that will be about it on the front. If you cast your eyes onto the alloy wheels, they are starting to tarnish, shall we say. So we are going to repaint all four wheels, but they're actually in very good condition. This car has been driven very sensibly and moderately. And as we look at the discs, there's absolutely no lip whatsoever. The gentleman put two brand new front discs and pads on literally 2 months ago. So a car that's been pretty well maintained. As we go around it, we've got literally 4 brand new tyres, and if you come in and have a look at the tread on these, look at that. You can get your finger all the way in there, that's for sure. Again, as I've said, this wheel is starting to tarnish. There is ever such a slight lip on the rear disc, but there's definitely a good 2 to 3 years left in those. And of course, most of the braking is on the front. As we come round to the back, we come to what I think is one of its best angles, by the way. I do think that it's a very good looking SUV. It crosses that barrier between ruggedness and good lookingness. So like I say, ML 320 CDI, 4MATIC, permanent 4-wheel drive, and you've actually got a low range mode as well. Let's see what it's like in the back, shall we? Quite a big boot. Come and have a look. Cast your eyes. It's around about 1 metre deep, by the way, and about a good 1.5 metres wide. We've got a load cover for perhaps those valuables that you want to keep out of sight. And of course, these seats all go forward, and this one actually has ski access as well. So if you are hanging on to that set of skis or perhaps that long plank of wood, you can just pop that bit down and push it through. Great practicality, by the way, because again, this is something that people like on these 4-wheel drives, SUVs as they are called. They like the fact that perhaps if they come to this kind of area, which is the beach, by the way, they can sit here, take their shoes off, wash their feet down, and of course get changed without actually standing in the dirt. And of course, if you want, you can actually put those seats down and have a little snooze, because it is a pretty big car indeed. Now, listen to the clunk. See, that's the quality of a Mercedes. Even though now it's getting close to 20 years old, it's still pretty well built. This one's got front and rear parking sensors, and I do quite like the light design. And for those of you who want a little bit of trivia, if you see these ridges in the rear lights, this started off in the early 70s with the Mercedes SL, and they had these ridges. There's actually 4 of them on that car, and the idea was that the snow sits on the ridge, but of course it leaves this part clear and this part clear. So always thinking about safety in mind when someone is behind you. Even on those wintry days, which we don't get that often in downtown Cyprus, you'll have good visibility for the people coming into you from behind. On this side again, we're going to be refurbing the wheels, but the car's very straight and very clean, especially for a car that is knocking on almost 20 years old. Let's pop in and let's show you just how much space there is, because these 2 front seats are set up for 6 foot or thereabouts. And as we can see, there's an awful lot of space, and there's even knee cutouts for those taller guys. And as we look at the headroom, well, there you go. 6'3", 6'4", you shouldn't have much of a problem. Certainly going to sit 2 people in comfort, but to be honest, even on the middle seat, that's pretty good. And of course, there's quite a low hump in the middle. And if you do get the middle seat, you're going to get all the aircon blowing straight on you. Nice little cubby, a little bit of connectivity in there. Nice car, very, very nice car indeed. And of course the best colour inside, black, the most practical colour. They look lovely with the cream interior, but of course when people are wearing jeans, which is what we normally do these days, slowly but surely, of course, they get that little bit tarnished. Let's have a look in the passenger side. If you come round and I'll show you what we've got. Again, we've got leather and Alcantara. It always starts to wear that little bit where you're rubbing your thighs, but you can just trim that off, which we will. Fully electric seats. And of course you can adjust your back, but on top of that, we've got memory for 3 people. So if you've got 3 passengers on a regular basis, they can all store their memory. And we've actually got a high quality, in my opinion, door card. You start to understand this car is quite old. It's done just over 200,000 kilometers, which is around about 125,000 miles. The only little bit of real wear is where somebody has had their arm on there, but you can barely see it. Soft touch, good quality, strong armrest, and a decent door pocket. That's the book pack, and on top of that, there is an umbrella that's been kindly left for us as well, which we will pass on to its next owner. So let's work our way round and let's have a good look at the front of it, because I think that the front just gets it right between aggressive and calm, if you understand what I'm saying. I think it's a very, very good looking car indeed. And bear in mind, this car was designed in 2005, and when it came out it didn't have that many competitors, is the word, isn't it, in the premium range. Of course the BMW X5 was there, that was the one that started the game. The Porsche Cayenne was out and about, and then Mercedes brought out this, which was their second incarnation of the Mercedes ML. The first Mercedes ML was actually quite a good car, but it suffered an awful lot from build quality issues. Well, this one doesn't. They literally are like an old shoe, and they'll keep on running for that long, long time indeed. And of course, a lot of people do like to see that 3-pointed star on the front. For those of you who perhaps remember Mercedes of old, they always had the 3-pointed star on the top there, but that's actually not true. On their sports cars, they didn't. It was always like that. It was only on the saloon cars that the badge featured, and of course today it only features as an option on an E-Class and only actually comes as standard on an S-Class, unless you are buying the AMG one. This is what they put on the sports and on the SUVs. But like I say, I think it's a very, very good looking car. Not too aggressive, but not too calm. And I think if you're going to go driving around a big city or a town, that could be that perfect car for you. Shall we go and have a look in the driver's side, and then you can get some great views indeed. Always a good clunk on a Mercedes, by the way. They've always been criticised over the last few years for their build quality, but I think in and around 2005 they understood they had to up their game a little bit. And when we touch pretty much everything you come into contact, soft touch, nice rubberized, good quality steering wheel. And a common fault on these cars is all the little details come off the buttons. In this case, on this car, they have not. So that tells you that the man or the lady who was driving it kept their hands pretty clean. Again, a commonality along here as well, where the actual details come off. All of these are perfect. And this one is a very, very high spec indeed. It's got air suspension, so you've got sport and you've got normal, so that drops the car in sport, lifts the car that little bit. You've got a diff lock, and you've got all sorts of little gizmos to help you if you ever fancy going off-road. And rumour has it that this is pretty good off-road. Although, if you really want to go on a true expedition, you should always go and get yourself a Land Cruiser or two. Let's give the door a close. And listen to that shunt, even with the window down, top quality. You've got locking and unlocking on this door and on the passenger door. Right by your little fingers are all of the electric windows, and on this case you can actually open the rear quarters as well to let that little bit of air in. So something that little bit extra special on this car. Bit of carbon fibre effect. That's your cubby or cup holder. Then we've got another one Again, you could put a cup in there, or odds and sods, this one slides out of the way and this one slides open, and of course because it's quite an old car, it still has a cigarette lighter and it still has an ashtray. In this case, never ever been used. Quite a good sized glove compartment, by the way, full of all sorts of rubbish, but that is a glove compartment. That's what it's for, isn't it? And then we have quite a good storage bin there, and of course we have a separate bin where someone has left us some nice tissues for what was in the old days how you had your phone. Of course, plenty of room in there for a mobile phone, and you can have it plugged in. Nice comfortable armrest, there's no doubt about it. Seat on this side, obviously fully electric and 3 memory settings. The steering wheel is telescopic electrical. We'll start it up for you just to show you how it works. Super smooth engine, by the way. See that? How easy can it be? Up and down till your heart's content. Absolutely fantastic. Now, when we move to the steering controls, what have we got? We've got the windscreen wipers and lights as tradition on one stalk in a Mercedes, makes it nice and simple. And then the most simple cruise control in the world. Although as time has gone on, they have made it a bit more complicated. All you do is drive to the speed you want and flick it up, on comes the cruise control. You can tap it on the end to go up and down, and of course to knock it off, either hit the brake or just knock it off. That simple. We have a column shift 7-speed automatic gearbox. Very, very simple indeed to do. When you stop the car, press the end and it goes into park. If you want to get out of park, all you do is put it up for reverse and put it into the middle for neutral, or all the way down for drive. Simple as that. Back into park. There we go. Simplest gearbox in the world. And again, in reliability terms, it is a very, very reliable gearbox indeed. Used in many, many Mercedes products. We've dealt in a lot of Mercedes. I've owned quite a few Mercedes. I've even owned one of these, this exact same car, except mine was in like a darker grey. Never ever had a problem with the 7-speed gearbox. The engine can give you a few issues. You can get oil leaks at the back and at the bottom of the engine. But all you got to do is make sure that you get it right. Absolutely fantastic car indeed. And I really do think it's great. It's got great air conditioning. It's got a nice little satellite system, which, yeah, a little bit old-fashioned, but it does work. You can sync your phone to it. This is a truly great 4-wheel drive at a price. Front and rear parking sensors, by the way, as well. Let's get out and let's have a little bit more of a chat about it. I'm going to let the cameraman pop in there in a moment and show you all of the interior and all of the high quality. But there's no doubt about it that for its age is an exceptional car indeed. And if you are curious to know what I've paid for it, well, I paid €6,000. We're going to do the lights, we're going to do the wheels. There's a little dent and a little bit of paint fading on the rear hatch where it was getting caught by the sun in the garage. We're going to do that, give it a good interior valet and a good exterior polish, and that car will be for sale for €8,500, which is a very, very fair price indeed. And I got a feeling that that car is going to run for another 10 years, provided you make sure you keep on top of the maintenance. If you're curious to know about tyre prices on a car like this, they're going to cost you around about 100-ish per corner for a moderate tyre. You can buy some cheaper tyres, and of course you can buy some more expensive tyres. If you're going to replace the discs, which I would say you do every 2 to 3 years, quite a heavy car, remember, it's going to cost you around about €500, and of course that would include the pads. Same price for the rear discs, but of course you won't need to do that probably every 5 to 6 years or so. Servicing and general maintenance around about €350 per annum, subject to the mileage that you're doing. Make sure you change the oil every 6-ish thousand miles. As a car gets older, remember, the engine is getting older, a little bit like us, and we start to ache and we start to creak. So change the oil twice a year, immaterial of your mileage, and I'm pretty sure that that car will be seen driving around in front of that, which of course is the blue Mediterranean Sea. Feast your eyes and digest. That truly is a spectacality of a view indeed. So let's go and have a look at the interior, and let's let the cameraman feast his eyes and your eyes upon its quality. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to impress you that little bit. Good, remember, this is a car from 2005, its conception, and this one is actually 2007. And it's a testament to the quality of Mercedes and a testament to its ownership. 3 owners from new, and a testament to how they looked after the car. There is literally nowhere on any of the driver's seat bolster. A little bit of bubbling again on the Alcantara, which we'll just trim off with a shaver. And this car is almost as good as new. I think it is a fantastic car, by the way. So if you do like what you see, please hit that like, smash that subscribe. Please don't forget to keep on coming back for that little bit more of my complete and utter madness as I take you on my travels, buying cars, selling cars, refurbing cars, perhaps doing the mechanics on cars. You drop it in the comments, what would you like to see? And we'll make sure that that video comes very, very soon, especially for you. And of course, if you would like to keep the channel afloat, want to go and hunt us down on the Buy Me a Coffee platform, because that's where you could gift us that virtual coffee or two to keep us lubricated on these rather hot days in downtown Cyprus. And of course, you can hit that link in the description on this video or go through to our About page. And please don't forget, there are 2 other channels in the group. One is Marika and me. That's myself and Marika as we mosey on down in downtown Kater Paphos and go on some little adventures. And of course, she has got her own channel as well, Marika and You, and she will take you on her beauty routines, her dressing routines, and at the moment, her diet routine. Let's go around the car and let you feast your eyes and digest upon it one more time. Remember, it's quite an old car, but it's certainly a very, very clean car indeed. And it could be that perfect car. Perhaps as the main car, perhaps as the second car, or perhaps even as the dog and the children car, with no disrespect to the dogs, only joking. But it is a lovely car, by the way, in one of the most popular cars on the roads if you want a sensible priced 4-wheel drive, permanent 4-wheel drive, by the way, Mercedes-Benz. If you like that 3-pointed star and the belief in their quality and their engineering, shall we say. An absolutely wonderful car, and I'm pretty sure that the next owner is going to love it as much as the 3 previous owners. We're going to say thanks for watching, and of course, if you do like what you see, hit that like, smash that subscribe, and please don't forget to keep on coming back for that little bit more of my complete and utter madness as I take you on my travels, buying cars, selling cars, and taking you guys with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to your company again very, very soon indeed. I'm going to look at that.